We're talking a Buckshot Princess today, doing a little interview.
Yes,
Awesome.
sir.
Can I get each one of you to introduce yourselves and say what you do?
I'm Peyton. I am the lead singer.
I'm Ivy Swint. I play the drums. My name is Evan. I play guitar in Buckshot Princess.
That's freaking awesome. And so the bass player's not here.
No.
Cool. So you guys all live in the same house.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get us all together.
That is so great. So, who was the first person in the band that knew about this film called Possibly in Michigan?
Me. I actually have to give it to TikTok in the first place, which is really funny. I was really early to TikTok. I was one of the first believers in it. In like late 2018, early 2019, right after Musical.ly had sold and it became TikTok, I actually found clips of the film, and then I went on YouTube, watched several of her movies in a row, and immediately fell in love and went to Evan's house at the time. Of course, now we're in the same house. And forced everyone to sit down in the living room and watch Possibly in Michigan. I think we also watched Not a Jealous Bone that same night, too.
Under the Skin.
Under the Skin, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to picture, the bass or the drums, guitar, and vocals of Buckshot Princess, along with our merchant, who you'll see at any live show, we would all just sit around in this double wide trailer in the living room and watch TikToks and YouTube videos of Condit's movies for hours. And then also like old school TikToks, which are all like way more upsetting than anything on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, TikTok used to be a lot more like the Wild West.
Right. Well, I wonder how it's going to be different now, because I guess it just changed hands. I guess it belongs to an American company now or something. Do we know what's going on there?
I don't know. I suspect that can only get worse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Does she have any other songs in her films, or was that like the only song?
A lot of her songs have just like these ongoing scores that come in and out.
Yeah, there's music very present in all of her stuff, and a lot of that sort of sing-song, vocal delivery, and a lot of the sort of dialogue that she uses. Not too many that I think would translate as well as Animal Cannibal did. That one it's got a bizarre structure, but it's definitely more structured and has more repetitions to it. But there is a very ingrained musicality to pretty much, I'd say, all of her short films. Or not all of them, but from that era.
Especially in the 80s, I feel like. And her name is escaping me right now. She has a friend that does most
Jill Sands.
Yeah.
Jill Sands. Yeah,
she just passed
this last week.
But she did most of the music for them.
Wow. So you guys were doing Animal Cannibal as like a fill-in song because you needed to fill in some time.
Yeah, we had booked a show at Sterling Market, and they were like, "Awesome, you guys are going to headline, so an hour and 30 sound good with you guys?" And we were like, "Oh, yeah, sure," because we didn't want to say no, because I don't know that we had headlined yet at that point. And so we were still pretty fresh, and we really wanted the opportunity. So we agreed to the hour and 30 minutes, and we had been singing that around the house just as kind of like a vocal stem for years and years. And I was like, I feel like there's a really niche group of people that would really appreciate this. And so when we actually pulled it out for the first time at Sterling, before we played the song, I was like, this is just one of those things where if you know, you know. And, there were some like little goths, like 13 and 14-year-olds there that night who were shocked when we pulled that out for the first time. I can only imagine that they're more shocked now than the person it did which is cool. But after we did that, we were like, okay, I'm going to post this video that we got of it onto our TikTok. And I didn't think anything about it. Now I try to be more market minded, I guess. And so, I'll be Googling things like, what's the best time to post a TikTok? And this is just completely mindless. And I thought, the few people that see it will really enjoy it. And that'll be good enough for me. And then we would wake up, I think the first night it was like 10,000 likes, which was way more than we had even anticipated. And then by like the end of a couple of weeks, it had hit 1 million views. And we were like, okay, we tapped into something, and we knew we had to pursue it.
That is freaking awesome. So it's kind of like you test marketed it. Didn't mean to, but you did, and you put it out there, and it just, took on a life of its own. So then, when I was talking to the guys outside of Vino's, the bass player was like, "Yeah, man, that's when we knew we needed to go record that song proper."
Yeah, we recorded it. We didn't really record it proper, though, unfortunately.
Yeah,
because that was one of maybe the second or third time,
the second
time we were ever in a studio. And if you listen to our recordings or releases by release date, you'll find that like our early stuff, we didn't know anything about tracking, any sort of layers, or whatever. We were just super offshots in the studio. So I do wish, I don't know, that recording had more of the knowledge behind it that our more recent ones have, just because so many people listen to it.
And it's one of our worst produced ones.
Yeah, we really didn't know enough to make it, I think, as punchy as it is live.
It's a very spacious recording that now, what is it? Hindsight's always 20/20. But
I tried to.
Yeah, it's good for what it is, and I think is now like a historical artifact for Buckshot. I wish we could do it justice a little bit better than we did. We played it live more quickly than the recording. And something really funny is now that the recording has gained such popularity, every now and again I'll get a comment on the original video of us doing it before it was ever recorded that's like, this is too fast. The recording is way slower. They're playing it wrong. And I'm like, no, this was the OG. Like this is the original recording.
So was that done at the Wolfman Studios?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's great, man.
Yeah, he's awesome. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back there pretty soon.
Next weekend,
trying to get another song down for everyone to enjoy.
Are y'all gonna redo the Animal Cannibal?
Probably not anytime soon. We are really trying to focus on our sort of original stuff and trying to get better at producing stuff. Because if we release it now, then our top 2 tracks will both be the same song and they'll both be a cover song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're definitely trying to get more eyes on our originals from that, for sure.
Yeah, if you see us release an Animal Cannibal recorded, then that's how you know what it's due.
Right on. And the version that's on Spotify right now, it sounds really good. I mean, it sounds fantastic, man.
Appreciate it.
So do you consider yourselves to be genre defying, or is there like a particular genre that you most identify with?
Well, we identify a lot with 2 or 3 genres in a way, but we also identify with like 100 genres.
The one we usually give people, if I'm like, I don't know, at a drive-through, and someone's like, I should say at a 7 Brew drive-through, that they ask you a lot more questions at those drive-throughs than others, where they're like, oh, what are your plans for the day? And I'd be like, oh, my band has a show. Oh, what do you play? I usually give them like goth country because I feel like that settles the dust easily enough.
Those are the 2 biggest things combined, definitely. But also, I do aspire to one day just be like a world music band. Yeah, it's coming. It's inevitable. Yeah, give us 10 years and we'll be like a goth Afrobeat band.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, some people transition across different genres, and you hardly even notice it. It's just like it's so effortless.
We listen to a lot of different genres as a collective. Like each member of the band kind of listens to something totally different than the next. So we do sometimes, bang out a song in the garage and we love it, and then we're like, well, it's really good, but it's not a Buckshot song. So it's like we want to be well established enough in our goth country music that we can then expand to the things that we do for fun too in the garage.
One sort of real touchstone for that for me is the Clash, where you see them release two really great punk records. And if you ask anyone, it's the Clash, it's a punk band. But then, and you can hear a bit of this on the Clash and Give Them a Throw. But by the time you get to London Calling, and especially Sandinista, you're going track by track, and it's like, well, that's a rock steady song, that's a lovers rock song, that's reggae, that's calypso.
Oh yeah, right.
So the way that you look at them, it's like, well, they're a punk band, but every song is just world music. That's the goal for Buckshot.
Oh yeah.
They're a rock country band, but every song is like some Caribbean something or other.
So, and so you're like a goth country band, alternative type of band, but then you have this bass player that's just like amazing. Like, how the hell did that happen?
He was always in bands all throughout school. He really was our music theory touchstone of the band. The rest of us, I mean, I was in band and choir too, but I switched to percussion in the middle school, so you lose some of being able to read sheet music and things like that. But Zach, our former, it's a weird situation. We've got a couple of basses, but he's definitely our big brain music guy.
He's also the biggest. Well, we talked about we all like genres. He's definitely the one who's most into metal, where that sort of virtuoso playing is super uplifted, whereas traditionally you would see in a sort of countryish band that's an instrument that will sort of take the back seat to dum dum.
Yeah, real simple. Yeah.
So that's been very good for the Buckshot sort of sound to have.
Oh yeah.
That sort of carved out as every instrument is really going to take them through something. It's not just going to be a rote sort of regurgitation of sort of past country and goth musicianship. So that's something we really feel strongly about, is that we do like all the old stuff, but we don't want to just give you something that you've heard before.
Right. Definitely puts a whole different spin on it. It definitely adds a whole nother, like a whole nother dimension to it. I mean, it's like, okay, this is cool, a little country kind of thing. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, the singer's really cool, and what the hell, what? I mean, it's and it works. It really, really works. He knows what he's doing well enough that it doesn't sound bad, because somebody could screw that up,
Yeah,
but
we have been known to tell him to stop flourishing so much.
There's a sweet spot.
Yeah, we usually Zach turns it way up, and then we reel him in a little bit, and then we find that perfect spot.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that he's humble enough to take direction. That's really cool. That's really cool. What else am I got? I got my questions are all wrote down here. So y'all got a new member. You got to tell me all about that. What happened there, and how did that happen, and what do they play?
Her name is Katie. So it's also good to get another woman in the band. I feel like you do see woman-fronted bands, and they'll also have male instrumentalists. So I like that.
Truly integrated.
Yeah, now it's more real. But Katie and I have been internet friends for some time, and then she had expressed interest in joining us, and she posted a picture and she had all these different instruments on the rack. Plus, she'd already asked what we were looking for before. And so she was someone that had been playing on her own, but, expressed to me that she had a little bit of nerve and was a little bit more reserved. So she was actually really hesitant to take that first leap into the band, but now she's in and she's grooving and it's working, and I'm happy. I couldn't be happier that we got her.
So is she the one that's going to help you guys get through your bass player taking a break?
Yes.
And
then she also has some talent with keys that I think will come in extremely handy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you added a keyboard player, that would really bring out the whole goth side of it.
Yeah, we're trying to add more texture as we move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you said she's a multi-instrumentalist, so she'll do different things depending on the song.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I've seen you guys twice. I saw you at Whitewater Tavern, I saw you at Vino's. And one time you were up there and you were like, yeah, I wrote this song 10 years ago when I was 16.
Yeah.
So I also write songs and all that, and I'm a musician myself. And so, when I heard that, instantly I just wanted to be like, okay, so when did you start writing songs, and how many songs do you have at this point?
Me personally, I started writing songs from as early as I can remember. I've especially just always been a writer. I would say that I was a writer more than I was a singer initially. Did all the, flowery poetry classes in college, things like that. As a band, we played so many shows this last year that we didn't get to be as involved in writing new stuff as we'd like. But I think this month we've got like 4 or 5 original new songs that we started working on. So now we probably could really give somebody an hour 30 of original.
Right. So do you have songs that you wrote and you have this stockpile of songs and you just like pull some of those out and say, okay, guys, check, here's another idea, or do you write songs together?
Both. We have Arkansas Conjure and Bad Luck Lady are 2, I think, good examples of songs that we wrote collectively. Like all together, they evolved throughout the writing process based off of, okay, what if we did this here? Now I want to do this here. As you get busier and busier, we slip into what we call the Buckshot factory, which is kind of like one person would come up with the bones of a song, and then everyone would just kind of individually go back and add their own thing. So you don't get as much progressive music as Bad Luck Lady. They're still good songs, but we do have 2, I feel like, extremely different modes of writing.
Spaghetti at the wall tracks, whereas everything else is a little more assembly line. Not to suggest that they aren't emotional, but they aren't as group efforts.
Yeah.
An emotional assembly that we don't care about.
Cool, that is super interesting. I'm glad to hear that it's done both ways, every which way, So my next question is, so y'all have, we've been doing the radio show on Mondays. I mean, I've been over there for 2.5 years. Jeremiah was there a few years before I got there. And, we always play like, okay, this is the show's coming up this week, this band, that band. And if you're on Spotify, we play you on there. And I remember when y'all did not have 1 million streams on that song. And I mean, it's been really crazy just checking in every once in a while. It's like, oh, they're playing a show again. And you go back on there, oh, damn, now it's got, 1.5 million plays right here. And it's been really exciting watching it just kind of explode. And right now, I think it's up to like 2.25 million. This thing might really be, taking off, and I wanted to ask you, have you registered your music with BMI or ASCAP?
I believe we have. The thing about us as musicians is that we're kind of just like knuckle dragging.
Oh, I know, but just in case, man, you want to go ahead and set it up because this thing's just kind of exploding, and you might not want to go ahead and set that up because if it takes off on FM radio, you'll get paid for every single time that gets played somewhere, and that can actually add up.
I believe that my wife and our manager,
Grace handles the logistics.
Yeah, I believe she has done that. I will double check with that. But
definitely double check with her. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it might happen, man. It might just keep on going. It might, go from Spotify to being on radio stations all over. It can happen.
That's the dream. We've gotten a few plays in Brazil and stuff like that on the radio. That's always a fun thing to find out that you've been played on Mexican or Brazilian radio or something.
Finland, I think, was big on us. They even really liked the originals over there, which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess that's all my questions that I had wrote down here. You guys really did elaborate really nicely on a lot of things. Gosh, I guess I don't have anything else. Y'all have a show coming up?
Yes, February 1st at Full Moon Records. There's another band whose claim to fame came through TikTok that's coming from Fayetteville, and they are Thoughts on Bowling. They're a Midwest emo band, so it's I feel like we're always the odd man out in a lineup in the rock, honestly, but I kind of like that too, It's hard to categorize this, but it'll be a 90s prom theme. Not
cool.
Required to dress up, but if you're someone that thinks that that's fun, I don't know if there's going to be a contest for it, but I'll certainly already be wearing my crown and telling everyone that I won.
So when you've been writing songs for a very long time, your whole life, and then all of a sudden this band happens like a year and a half ago. I mean, how did that come together? What was the first two people that met and said, "Oh, we're going to form a band"?
Well, we've been talking about this specific lineup of Peyton, Ivy, me, and Zach for probably 4 years.
Yeah.
Because we've all known each other. There's a guitar that I gave to one of my little brothers recently that I bought. I was in a shop in Russellville with Peyton and our manager, or now manager, Grace. And I was like, should I just buy this guitar because we're gonna start a band together at some point? And I was like, yeah, of course you should buy that guitar. So we've been talking about this forever and ever. And then
I turned 25 and had a crisis.
And I was 26, and we were all thinking, we're closer to 30 than 20, and we're not doing anything. So let's do something. And we were at Pizza D's, the four of us, and we're just like, it'll be a band.
Yeah.
And it was a band.
I think it was also April 1st, 2023. So it was the day after those tornadoes had ripped half of Little Rock to shreds and skipped over the house we're in right now by 5 feet.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, well, let me tell you, man, I really enjoy watching you guys perform.
Thank you.
Especially, it's obvious that, Peyton, it's obvious that you've been working on this for a long time, that you didn't just decide recently, I'm going to be a singer. It's pretty obvious that you've been in this mindset for a long time, and this is something you've been working on for a long time. Whenever I watch you guys do the show, I feel like I'm watching someone who's already famous. It doesn't look like I'm watching someone who's trying to practice and figure it out. It just looks like there's this famous band, there's this famous singer I just found out about today. This is how it hit me when I saw you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I did have a little bit of media training, maybe not as much as other people. I used to compete in the Miss Arkansas America pageants, and so I feel like I got a little bit more polished up than I would have been otherwise. So that it does mean a good deal to me that that people look at me and see that, because I feel very out of place sometimes.
Right. Well, you guys aren't scared to play any shows, man. You did a show with Mammoth Caravan, so.
Yeah, we love them.
Yeah, these guys are super cool. Awesome. And thank you guys for being so great. And I hope you get your music registered if you haven't, because if it takes off, you want to get paid.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. And I'll see you guys soon at one of your upcoming shows. Thanks for talking to me.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you guys. Bye.